Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, a deluxe remaster of Dead Rising, released digitally in September of 2024, then physically in November of the same year. The physical release coincided with a huge update that introduced bug fixes as well as an all-new easy difficulty. But along with this update, a demo for Deluxe Remaster was dropped the exact same day, which for a poor divorced 50-year-old father of 3 is absolutely appreciated. But besides allowing me to get a taste of this admittedly expensive game, the idea of a demo got the brain juices in my old head noggin flowing. Dead Rising is a pretty open game, but what are the demo's limitations? So I downloaded it and jumped right in to find out. The demo begins, and from the get-go we see the intro cutscene and helicopter sequence has completely pieced out, replaced instead with this cute little collage that abridges the events of the intro. Kinda reminds me of the Resident Evil 4 demo on GameCube. After that, Mr. Frank West spawns on the roof with Carlito, and pretty much everything from that point is normal. Enter mall, shit hits fan, retreat to security room where you then have to go back into the mall because Brad is a freaking idiot. This leads you to Paradise Plaza, which is where the story progression stops. But thankfully, you're more than free to run, gun, and explore the plaza to your heart's content. At least until the demo's timer runs out. Alright, so it's pretty limited. Personally, I'd have preferred if they'd just thrown you into the whole game while leashing you up with a significantly shorter timer, but this is fine too. I can't complain about having more time to kill. Even through this demo's constraints, I couldn't help but notice that I was still able to level up during my playthrough. This caused the brain juices to flow harder and harder, formulating in my mind the ultimate question that has brought us all here today. Can I reach level 50, the highest level possible in-game, in Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster's demo? The rest of the game being blocked off may make this challenge more tedious, but I don't mind setting aside my evening in the name of research. Alright, let's do it. I started up the demo again, bringing over my level from an older save to hit the ground running. I cruised through Paradise Plaza, carving up any and all zombies unfortunate enough to stand in my way. 2x4, baseball bats, shotguns, and even HD TVs at the time, all tools to bring me closer and closer to that sweet, sweet goal of level 50. But this, while very, very fun, was proving to not be an optimal strategy. You see, the PP just wasn't coming as fast as I needed, which, by the way, for those who don't know, PP stands for Prestigious Points, which is the XP you get in Dead Rising. I will trust that you guys will be mature and not laugh every time that I say PP. Got it? But yeah, the PP was just not flowing as much as I wanted it to. The reason for that, you see, and it's something I never noticed until I started playing this demo, zombies don't give you PP. Yeah, over 100 hours in the original Dead Rising and 8 hours into this demo, and I'm barely realizing this. Pretty embarrassing, I know. However, using some special moves or weapons, as well as reaching body count milestones, does get you PP. Yet, it still isn't enough to net me levels fast enough. At least I had fun, and during my rampage, I did discover that the sledgehammer can be quite an entertaining weapon to use. Not to swing, but to throw. My next idea now was to use more alternative methods of getting PP. Environmental things like correcting the servbot's head, using the stove and Jill sandwiches, photographing the hidden PP stickers, stuff like that. Those yield significantly more PP than body count milestones, but it still wasn't enough. I needed something more. Something that I could exploit over and over and over again consistently without limitations. And it finally hit me during my search for the PP stickers that the answer was with me this whole entire time, right there in front of my face. Well, in front of Frank's face. Photography is the perfect way to gain PP, of course! Not only could I rack up PP from the stickers littered around the plaza, but I could also take pictures of the zombies that roamed the entire mall. Also, Frank is a photojournalist, so getting max levels this way makes way more sense than this. I swore off my violent tendencies just this once and decided to fight with information. My basic instinct was to just run around and haphazardly take pictures with no real thought or plan. I kinda just found groups of zombies and snapped whatever shots that I could get. I gotta be honest. Outside of the photo genres, I never really understood how the photo mechanics worked in this game. It doesn't help that the mechanic itself is kind of worthless outside of the intro. I know, very controversial stance, especially considering who I'm playing as, but come on, why take photos when you could kill zombies in this game? I covered wars, you know. It's only natural I want to start a war with these f***ers. Sorry, back to work. Many photos and a few levels later, my mind started to wander. I was getting pee-pee consistently, but it still wasn't as fast as I was wanting it to be. I was also starting to get a little bored too, so I tried experimenting with throwing in different genres into my photos. Letting zombies get close so they lunge at me for brutal, capturing zombies that fell over for humor. I tried getting erotic, but I totally forgot it was removed from Deluxe Remaster, so my upskirts did nothing but put me on a list. I did all this, but it didn't really seem like it was making much of a difference as well, even with the few photography books available in Paradise Plaza in my possession. Again, it's still way more points than my previous efforts, but if I'm gonna get to level 50 in this demo, I'm gonna need to continue altering my strategy. Outside of genres, I wondered about if any other factors played a part in the amount of PP you can get for photos. Things like distance from subject, composition, stuff like that might be good for me to try paying attention to. With a game this old, we probably shouldn't expect it to take these small details into account. But this is Dead Rising we're talking about. This is the game where you can run on a treadmill and get points. Anything is fair game. First, I played with distance, getting zombies close and far in the frame, and what do you know, closer subjects can get you more points. Sometimes it does feel a little inconsistent where they get way more points and then other times, not so much. It's a small inconsistency, but one that I was ultimately okay with because it wasn't really detrimental to the grind. With the camera books in tow, I was raking in a pretty healthy amount of PP with each picture. I finally cracked the system. I still wanted more. So I put on my suspiciously unworn thinking cap and thunked super-duperly hard. How does I more pee-pee when I can't more pee-pee? Well, there's not as many zombies in Paradise Plaza as I'd want. It's quite pitiful, honestly, especially when compared to the original game, where the amount of zombies on screen was frightening, not because it was scary, but because the Xbox 360 is more fragile than wet paper. I don't know if it's a change Capcom made to maintain good game performance with the graphical overhaul, but whatever the reason, it's getting in the way of my pee-pee hunting. Paradise Plaza just doesn't have the amount of zombies that I need. You know a place that does have the zombies that I need though? The very start of the game in Entrance Plaza. Unfortunately, there's no access to any stores there, so I can't get any camera books to increase my PP earnings, but honestly, with the head count like that, these potential photos will be absolutely oozing with more than enough PP to make up for it. I quit the game and start again from the beginning once more. Start on rooftop, run through security room, and here I am back at the entrance. We let the old lady ruin the lives of me and dozens of others once more, and we are off. The zombies are loose in the plaza, but instead of killing them, we are capturing them. I post up on the top of this nearby signage and prepare for quite possibly the most exhilarating evening I'll have tonight.
Fantastic!
Oh, fuck yes. Thought I was raking in PP before? No, I wasn't just raking it in, I was freaking bulldozing this shit and I was excavating the PP. My idea worked. And honestly, how could it not? Why did I not think of this before, dude? But I won't waste any more time or brain power kicking myself. Let's grind, baby. I played around with where to point my camera, but I noticed that this area right here was the best possible spot to get the most points. I kept taking pictures of the same spot over and over and over again, and each time the amount of PP it would award me would vary. Regardless of the inconsistency, this was still way more than I could ever dream of getting back in Paradise Plaza. Before I knew it, I was flying through the levels. Level 13, level 14, level 15. With the speed I'm going through these levels, I could honestly see myself getting to level 50 in less than an hour. I could probably reach the max level and not even realize it. Since taking pictures of the same place can be a bit boring, I chose to shake things up a bit. I mean, why not, right? I'm still gonna get hella points regardless. A bit of a zoom here, a bit of a sharper angle there. It's all in the name of fun, as well as my sanity. I mean, I feel like I'm more than capable of performing mundane tasks ad nauseum, but honestly, if I don't really need to, and if I'm given the choice to do so, then of course I'll choose to spice things up. That's the beauty of having freedom in your environment. Workplace, home place, no place, regardless of where you're at, Having the chance to add variation to your life is always welcome. And even if you don't choose to change things up, just knowing that you have the ability to do so anytime that you please is more than enough. Like for me, I used to work at this— Oh wait, hold on. What's my level at right now? Oh, I was taking pictures for the past 10 minutes, right? Well, I guess the developers really did think of adding a cap to the demo, which means that I must regretfully deem the challenge of reaching level 50 in the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster demo impossible, as the highest level we can reach is level 15. A bit of an odd number. I'd personally have preferred 10, but we can't get everything in life. Me failing this challenge is a clear indicator that that is true. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda glad I failed, because if I had to talk about absent-mindedly taking meaningless photos of zombies any longer, I likely would have had to check myself into a psych ward. But I'm not glad that I likely blue-balled everyone watching. For that, I sincerely apologize. I truly thought that this would have been possible since the demo is so constrained, and that they wouldn't even consider locking down the levels. No one would be able to get to level 50 in Paradise Plaza. Pshaw! Entrance Plaza, on the other hand. So to make it up to all of you, I've decided to extend this video with another challenge of my own. An impromptu speedrun. What is the fastest we can reach level 15 in the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster demo? Starting now. Now, I'm sure you're already acquainted with my technique, so I won't dwell on it any further. Instead, allow me to stimulate your auditory senses with a story. A story about how the original Dead Rising was the first M-rated game that I bought for myself, despite the fact that I was underage. It was 2006, so I was around 11 years old. My mom took me to GameStop to get this game. I didn't tell her what game though, because I was afraid of either getting a stern talking to or an exorcism. We arrived, I ran in and plucked a used copy from the racks and took it up to the counter along with the money my mom gave me to buy the game. The worker took the game, looked at me, then back to the game, and told me,
"You know, this game is rated M and not for kids your age, right?"
Being a little kid, I used my little kid charms and gave the most innocent sounding "no" I could muster. The guy was silent for a moment before just ringing me up. I think I remember him talking about how cool the game was, but before I knew it, I had absolute peak in my hands and was able to go back to my mom, who physically looked disgusted at the sight of games. GameStop? More like Game Stop. And with that, we hit the end of our speedrun, concluding with the time of
11 minutes and 4 seconds.
Which is absolutely impressive if you're a normal person in society, or repulsive if you're a Dead Rising purist. And since I still feel extra bad, here is another speedrun of me doing the exact same challenge, but on casual difficulty. And I don't have a story to tell this time, but that's mainly because I can't even get a chance to tell one.
10 minutes and 26 seconds.
It takes me longer to tie my shoes. Also, check out the amount of points you can get from photos in this mode. Good lord. Remember, this is without any photography books, by the way. Now, this officially concludes my attempt at reaching max level in the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster demo. Admittedly, I should have taken a bit more time to earn a few more levels and learn about the limit early on. I think I was only about 2 levels away from 15 before I decided to start making this video, which makes the defeat that much more painful. Once again, I do apologize for the potential disappointment some may feel. Feeling you've wasted your time is never good. I'm sort of feeling it too, to be honest, even now. But maybe ultimately, it was about the journey and not the destination. I enjoyed trying something new with this game. The limitations of the demo really did force me to think a bit more out of the box, which led to me relying on and spending more time with the photography feature, something that I totally just ignored over the years. I was able to relearn it, see its depth and nuances, and come to understand that it's a pretty good way to make Dead Rising, a game I've already garnered over 100 hours of endless fun from, even more fun. And I'm a sucker for photo modes too in games, especially if it's actually connected to the game world in some way, like GTA 5 and this game. So it was honestly only a matter of time I'd learn about it and its new features. But I'm kinda glad I learned about it in this weird way. Really gives it a lot more novelty. And that concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you may enjoy this video of mine and my friend's attempt at getting the 7-day survivor achievement in the original Dead Rising, which required you to play the game for 14 hours non-stop. It was a wild, sleep-deprived ride, but absolutely worth the effort. So check it out if you're interested. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope I see you next time. Later!